Hello, good day everyone. So welcome back to our another topic for our PCE 414, your Geotechnical Engineering 1. So for today's topic is all about our lateral earth pressure. So let us define what is a lateral earth pressure. So lateral earth pressure is the pressure that's the soil exerts in horizontal direction. It is important. Your lateral earth pressure is important because it affects the consolidation behavior and the strength of the soil, and because it is considered in the design of geotechnical engineering structures such as your retaining walls, basement, tunnels, deep foundations, and brace excavations. So meaning to say, yung lateral earth pressure natin is the horizontal soil stresses natin. So based on the definition, no, it is lateral earth pressure is important because first we are talking about the soil settlement, no, because our soil settlement is a vertical settlement or a vertical stress na nabubuo or na nangyayari because of the induced induced stress or vertical loads na binibigay sa soil natin. So kapag kinukuha natin no yung ating vertical pressure sa soil natin, 'di ba we know that yung pressure natin is equivalent to gamma H. Yan yung vertical pressure natin, no, kapag kinukuha natin. So how about kapag kukunin natin yung lateral earth pressure, where based on the definition, that is a horizontal pressure. Okay? So, hindi naman to nagkakalayo, no, ng formula natin for the vertical pressure. No, we will use pa rin the gamma H, but the only difference is mumultiplyan na natin na ito ng variable k natin, or tatawagin natin yung coefficient multiplier ninyo. Okay? Because as you know, yung lateral earth pressure natin, we have three categories. Okay? So we have at rest lateral pressure, we have active pressure, active lateral pressure, and we have passive lateral pressure. So we have three categories for that. So paano ba natin malalaman if yung sinusolve natin na problem is at rest ba, active, or passive? Okay? So actually, no, it will be based on the problem. So let us define these three different categories. So ano nga yung mga categories natin? Sulat ko. Number 1 is you have your at rest. Number 2 is you have your active. And number 3, you have here your passive. So from the formula, gamma H times K, yung K natin dito will matter or will depend kung anong category ng soil pressure yung isa-solve natin. So, unahin ko na lang muna dito pag-explain yung ating active and passive. So, for example, meron tayo ditong lateral wall. Okay? And sa lateral wall natin, meron tayo diyang embedment depth. Okay? So, depende yan sa embedment natin. Sabihin natin, ito yung height ng embedment depth natin, which is your variable D. So, pag sinabi nating active, okay, those are the pressure na minumove away niya yung retaining wall sa kanya. Gets ba yun? Or kung sabihin na lang natin, yung active soil pressure natin is tinutulak niya yung vertical wall away sa kanya. So, if itong side na ito, no, sabihin natin ito yung ground surface pala, from the left side, so sabihin na din natin nandito naman pala yung ground surface from the right side. Okay? So sabi dito, yung active soil pressure daw natin is minumove away niya yung soil sa kanya. No? Parang ayaw niya ba? Ayaw niyang magkatabi yung soil at yung retaining wall. So, nang gagawin nun? Alin dito yung active, alin dito yung passive? So, kung makikita ninyo, who will create a bigger lateral force ba? Yung left or yung right? Yes, that is correct. No? The one that will give a bigger lateral force is the right side. Ibig sabihin, ipo-push away niya or i-move away niya yung yung retaining wall sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, nandito yung active soil natin. Okay? So, ano naman ibig sabihin ng passive? Okay? Yung passive pressure naman natin is nakikita natin sa depth of embedment natin. So, pag sinabi natin depth of embedment, doon yung kung saan nakabaon yung ating retaining wall. Okay? Pag sinabi naman natin passive lateral earth pressure, it means that yung retaining wall is papunta sa soil. No? Kung ang active, tingnan niya, kung ang active soil natin is minumove away niya yung retaining wall from the soil, ang passive naman natin ngayon is, yung passive naman natin ngayon is that yung wall natin is papunta sa soil. Get nyo? Yung retaining wall is lumalapit naman sa soil. Okay? Ganun yun yung pinagkaiba nila. So, pag sinabi naman nating at rest soil pressure, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi nating at rest, there is no wall movement. So, kailan ba tayo magkakaroon ng at rest na soil pressure natin? It is when the lateral force of the both sides are equal. So, sabihin natin, ito yung lateral force dito on the right side, ito naman yung lateral force natin on the left side. Meaning to say, the lateral force are equal and it will lead to no wall movement. Kapag no wall movement, ibig sabihin, your lateral earth pressure is at rest. Again, active lateral earth pressure tends the retaining wall to move away, no, or tinutulak mismo ng soil yung retaining wall natin, while your passive lateral earth pressure is yung wall niya, yung retaining wall is papunta sa soil. Okay? Sana na-gets yung pinagkaiba ng tatlong categories natin. Okay. So, active soil pressure, it is a lateral pressure exerted by the soil that causes a slight movement of the wall from the retaining soil material. Pressure exerted by the soil against the wall and is referred to as a active pressure. So, yun yung sinasabi ko, no? Pinupush away ng soil yung retaining wall natin. While the passive soil pressure, it is a lateral pressure exerted by the soil by moving the wall slightly towards the retained soil material. Okay, ibig sabihin, no, it means that the retaining wall moves towards papunta pala, sa ating soil. Okay, and passive soil pressure, that is the resistance offered by the soil to an object pushing against it. Okay, so sa lateral earth pressure natin, we have 4 parameters to be considered. No? If meron tayong categories, meron din tayong parameters. So, the different parameters, na-skip ko na lang ito muna. Okay. So, the different parameters natin, so let us introduce that one to a pressure diagram from 1 meter layer of the soil. So, for example, ito yung soil natin. So, the first parameter is yung soil natin. And when we try to, and if we will try to draw a pressure diagram out of it, your soil will be a varying diagram. Okay? And the formula for your soil, same sa sinabi ko lang a while ago, na that is your vertical pressure. So, para maging lateral siya, i-multiply lang natin siya ng coefficient ng ating lateral earth pressure. So, therefore, the formula is K gamma H. So, ano pa yung other parameter natin? We have your cohesion. So, you have your active cohesion, which is PC. That is equivalent to 2C squared of K. And you have your passive cohesion. Okay, as you can see, the arrows, no, magkakaiba yan. So, dito, no, sasabihin ko na lang, na pag sinabi nating active cohesion, take note that that is a negative 2C square root of K. Pag passive cohesion naman tayo, that would be positive 2C square root of K. Ma'am, bakit po magkaiba? Bakit ang active is negative and ang passive natin is positive? Cohesion. So, balikan natin yung ating diagram kanina. Okay? So, if this is your vent depth, ito yung ground surface natin on the right side. Ito yung ground surface natin on the left side. Sabi natin, active to. So, kapag active, ano ginagawa ng ating force or ng pressure natin? No, it tends to move away the retaining wall. So, anong gagawin ng cohesion natin? Ano ba yung cohesion nga ulit? Di ba yung cohesion is yan yung pagkalagkit ng soil natin. So, kapag may tumutulak sa kanya, no, tinutulak natin itong retaining wall, ano ba yung magiging reaction ng ating cohesion? Di ba ika-counteract niya? Tama ba? Kina-counteract niya yung ating force. Okay? As you can see, magbibigay yan ng negative pressure. The same goes sa ating passive. So, ganun ang tandaan nyo. Pag active cohesion, or kapag active yung soil natin, that is a negative cohesion. Kapag passive naman yung soil natin, that is a positive cohesion. Okay? So, ano pa ba yung parameters natin dito? That is your surcharge. Okay? Yung surcharge natin, that is in a variable Q. Tandaan nyo yan. Okay? So, that will be a uniform distributed load also. And the formula for your Q is that your coefficient or your multiplier times the surcharge load itself. So, ano pa ba? Isa na lang. Isang parameter na lang. So, kapag yung soil natin is under the water table, ano ba yung nakikita natin doon maliban sa soil? Yes, that is water. So, therefore, the last parameter for our lateral earth pressure would be your pore water pressure. And that is the unit weight of water times the height of water. Ma'am, sabi mo kanina, ma'am, na horizontal pressure yung kino-consider natin. Same sa soil, ma'am. Diba, vertical pressure is gamma H. Multiplyan natin ng variable na K para maging lateral earth pressure so that it will be a horizontal pressure. But how about the water, ma'am? Hindi ba natin siya mumultiplyan ng K? So, take note that dito sa soil natin, okay, sa soil natin dito is nagkakaroon tayo ng internal angle of friction. Ano ba yung internal angle of friction? Diba that is the friction between the solid particle natin kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng phi or ng angle. Where dito sa water natin, yung tubig kasi natin is, ano ba yan? No, yung tubig kasi natin is smooth, no? So, sobrang smooth niyan, hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng friction. Therefore, wala tayong angle of friction na kino-consider. So, mas madaling sabihin that yung K natin dito is just equal to 1. So, yan yung difference nila. Okay, so 4 parameters natin in lateral earth pressure, that is your soil, cohesion, surcharge, and water. Okay, so let us try to draw your pressure diagram based on the different parameters. So, sabihin natin, this is your soil. Okay, so let us try to consider that yung soil natin has 2 layers. Tapos sabihin natin, nandito yung water table natin. So, first layer, this is your unit weight 1. This is your active coefficient 1. And this is your cohesion. On the layer 2 natin, this is gamma sat. Gamma sat na no, kasi under na tayo ng water table. So, you have your active soil pressure 2 and you have your cohesion 2. So, unahin natin drawing yung soil natin. Sa first layer natin, di ba sabi natin that would be a varying distribution. No? Varying natin yung load natin. Yan. Since active siya, dapat pa ganito yung ating arrow. So, this is our pressure 1. Papunta sa layer 2 natin is magbabago. No? So, since yung pressure natin from the layer 1, yung soil yung pinag-uusapan natin ha, huwag niyo muna pansinin itong surcharge. Since yung soil natin from layer 1 is nakapatong siya sa soil natin sa layer 2, ibig sabihin, mako-consider siya as surcharge ng layer 2. Tama ba? No? Again, yung soil natin from the first layer is nakapatong siya sa ating layer number 2. Ibig sabihin, kung idodraw natin yung soil diagram natin is yung soil natin from layer 1 is magiging surcharge siya ng ating soil layer number 2. No? Kasi nakapatong siya. And ano nga yung ating pressure diagram kapag that is a surcharge? No? Kapag surcharge load, di ba magiging rectangular yung kanyang diagram. So, kung i-connect natin yan sa baba, no? Kung i-project natin pababa itong pressure 1 natin, ganito yan. Okay, so this is pressure 2. Times, paano naman yung pressure na binibigay ng soil layer number 2 natin? So, ibig sabihin, gagawa tayo ng another soil diagram or soil pressure diagram for its own. No, which is, i-consider natin siya as your pressure number 3. That is why, sa reference ninyo, makikita ninyo na hindi siya completely, no, kapag layer yung soil natin, hindi completely varying lang yung magiging soil diagram natin. Nakikita nyo dyan is para siyang trapezoid, no? Kasi nga, no, tinitreat natin yung soil number 1 as a surcharge load dito sa ating soil layer number 2. Next is for the cohesion. So, since ang cohesion natin is a rectangular pa rin, so this is for the first layer. So, next is this one. Okay. Sabihin natin this is your pressure 4, this is your pressure 5. Sulat ko pala. So, this is soil. This is for your cohesion. And so forth na, no, for the surcharge and for the pore water pressure. No, mas madali kasi kung iibahin na natin. Basta yun lang yung magiging idea, no? No, parehas dito na sa sinabi ko sa ating soil, kaya meron kayong trapezoid na nakikita. So let us have another example. So we have a retaining wall that is 5.8 meters high. It supports the soil that has a following properties. So you have a unit weight of 17.3 kilonewton per cubic meter and an angle of internal friction of 26. So we have cohesion. So let us try to determine the normal pressure acting at the back of the wall, assuming no tensile crack occur on the soil. Okay. B. Location of your crack measured from the surface of the horizontal field. And C. Active pressure acting on the wall if the tensile crack occurs in the soil. So let us try to determine your normal pressure. So single layer pa rin yung example dito, no? So you have your cohesion, since sinabi naman. So let us try to get your soil pressure. So since active to, hindi nga pala sinabi, no, kung if active or passive. So ganito yung isipin nyo, no, kapag nagbabiyahe kayo, tapos meron kayo nakita na retaining wall, no, unang iisipin nyo talaga dyan is ang soil natin is active. So that is why dito, no, sa problem na ito, nag-assume siya na active yung ating soil pressure. Okay, so get the K or your our coefficient that is equivalent to 0.390. So getting our soil pressure, that is K gamma H, so that is 0.39 times 17.3 times 5.8. So let us try to get your active cohesion. So that is 2C square root of K. Okay. So, kunin daw natin yung force natin dito sa wall. Okay. So, this is your Fs. This is your Fc. So, again, bakit negative yung Fc natin? No? Sabi ko sa inyo, kapag active yung soil natin, yung cohesion natin is negative. So, to get the force na nagre-resist dito sa wall natin, okay? So, get lang natin yung area ng ating pressure diagram. So, you have your 1/2 of PS times H times 1 meter, no, minus PC times H times 1. No, per meter length man tayo. So, that is 1/2 of 39.133. Dito nang galing yung 39.133 times 5.8 na height. So, that is for your soil pressure. Minus your active cohesion or your cohesion pressure, that is 18.110, dito nang galing yon, times 5.8, which is height ng ating soil, times 1 meter. Therefore, the answer is equivalent to 8.448 kilonewton. So, how about the location of your tensile crack? No? So, kapag inad natin itong dalawang free body diagram natin, so nakikita ninyo yung force natin is moving towards our retaining wall, while your active force natin is yung reaction ng force na ito, which is going to the other side. So, kapag inad natin yung dalawang free body diagram na yan, no? Ito yung magiging itsura niyan, no? So, hahanapin natin yung location ng tensile crack. Or kung mas madali siyang sabihin, hahanapin natin yung transition ng force na ito, no? So, hanapin natin yung y sub 2 or pwede naman yung y sub 1. So, i-equate lang natin yung soil pressure ninyo at yung cohesion pressure natin. So, that is 0.39 times 17.3. Yung 17.3 is yung ating unit weight. Yung y sub 2 natin is from the upper fiber to the neutral axis. Neutral axis na lang natin siya tawagin. No? So, y sub 2 natin is 2.684. So, pwede din naman kunin itong y sub 1. No? So, para kunin natin yung y sub 1, that is just 5.8 minus 2.684. So, kunin natin yung active pressure if the tensile crack occurs. So, saan ba dito yung yung active pressure natin? Diba ito? Diba ito yung active? Kasi tingnan nyo, moving towards our retaining wall, and this is your cohesion. So, hinahanap natin dito is yung active pressure. Ibig sabihin, kailangan natin ng distance na y sub 1. Okay? So, that is just the difference between 5.8 minus 2.684. So, PS minus PC, nakuha natin to kanina, times 1, no? Kasi per meter tayo. And that is equivalent to 32.754 kilo Newton. So, ganun lang, no? Yung pag-analyze natin sa lateral earth pressure. And for this problem, you will have your assignment. So your assignment is a vertical retaining wall 8 meters high is supporting a horizontal backfill having a moist unit weight of 17 kN per cubic meter and a saturated unit weight of 20 kN per cubic meter. Angle of internal friction above and below the water table are 30 degrees and 25 degrees respectively. So the groundwater table is located 3 meters below the ground surface. So you have your OCR, which is 2, no, below the water table. So, ano to? Ibig sabihin, meron na tayong dalawang layer dito na pinag-uusapan. So, kaya pina-assignment ko to, no, para mas maintindihan ninyo. Okay? So, we have 2 layers. So, sabi dito, meron tayong retaining wall that is 8 meters high. So, ano pa dito? Sabi niya, meron tayong groundwater table that is 3 meters below the ground surface. So, ibig sabihin, nandito ang water table. This is 3 meters. So, ibig sabihin, this is 5 meters. So, dapat ngayon, alam nyo na kung paano i-intindihin or i-comprehend yung ating problem. No? Or yung worded problem natin. So, ibig sabihin, you have your first layer, you have your second layer. Okay, so that is your assignment to be submitted during our face-to-face classes. So that would be all for our lateral earth pressure topic. So if you have any questions, clarifications, you know where to find me. So thank you everyone and God bless.